So my idea was for these two sessions, Venerable Rabina is going to be teaching next weekend, so didn't want to break up that course. But this, if people like this, we can probably do it again. But my idea was, I personally have this thing where sometimes I feel like a really bad practitioner because I'm not able to do my practices properly because my life gets in the way. And I'm a nun. So I don't have the same kinds of responsibilities that you guys have, jobs and families and kids and spouses and da 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 da. And it's really only since I've been living with my dear friend Judith up here in San Anselmo and Marin that I began to see how much of my friends that I have up here, how much of their lives is taken up in relationships and family. And so of course, for many, many years, I was living at Lama Zopa Rinpoche's house, and all we had to do really in the morning was get up and go and do our job, which was the water bowls. And so we didn't really, of course, we all have families and we have each other as friends, but we're being supported by people who are actually doing the same thing as us. So many, many people that I'm meeting up here, they like to have their Buddhist practice, but their husband does something completely different and their kids have got a da-da-da-da. So I hope you can, am I making sense? Can you relate to what I'm saying? Yeah. So what I wanted to do was to, for all of us, give us a little bit of support in bringing our practice into our daily life. And it's a little bit like the flow of lava. It doesn't matter. You don't have to make it this great big thing that you're just going to sit down. I'm going to sit down for an hour and do my meditation, or I'm going to sit. And then after 5 minutes, you're bored. And it's just very difficult. So we start by perhaps give ourselves, okay, so today I only have time for 60 seconds. So I'm going to give us some various different techniques for being able to do 2 minutes, 1 minute, 60 seconds, but whatever it is, it allows that flow of lava. Because I've been in Hawaii, I just have that image in my mind. It's very slow and steady. There's no break. So actually you're continuing, your practice isn't something, it's a separate thing every day. It's a continuous flow and it builds up energy. So, this practice we've been doing every night in the Vajrasattva with Thupten Noble Ling, the same center. We have this really sweet community happening, and it's because we have built up this energy for more than a year now. So we have kind of a little constellation going on here of people who are doing the same practices. It's quite lovely. So you can do the same thing for yourself. But like I said, you only need to do 60 seconds or a minute if that's all you can do. But if you just keep your brain engaged and don't break the flow, your practice is going to keep continuing. So I wanted to immediately open up for discussion. Here's our dear Mary. Hi. From the little bit I've said this morning, how does everybody relate to that? Does anybody have anything they'd like to share just right off the bat, or are you feeling a bit shy? Is there anything you'd like to work on in these two sessions that would be helpful? Or shall I just do my thing? No one's putting their hand up. People are thinking. Anna, did you have something to say? You look like you might have something to say. Go ahead.
Just I would appreciate just hearing what you think is what you feel is needed or suggested, or do your own thing, as you say.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I have some ideas. All right. And thank you, Anna. And Kodo, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, Kodo.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, Kodo, hi.
Hi. I would love the 30-second, 1 minute things to catch. I mean, I do often, not always, but often catch. Oh, geez, I'm starting to get crabby about that driver in front of me, etc. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I just, because I've done Zazen for many decades, I have my own thing, but if there's a Tibetan style, I'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to know your Tibetan style, like a quick, look at that little delusion or anger poof coming up, and then brrr, I bring it down into my hara, my belly, because I practiced martial arts for many years in Japan, and so I have a style that I do. But if there's a different FPMT style, I'd love to know it. Thank you.
I think what you're doing is excellent. And I did want to introduce this morning one movement from Tai Chi, a form of Tai Chi that I've been learning, and I do have permission from my teachers to do this one. So, and it does talk about what they call the Dantian, which is the same as the Hara. Anyway, it's your belly. There's a lot going on in the belly. We have babies there. We have relationships. We have, we eat, we digest, we eliminate. All of this happens here in the belly. So much is going on there, and we ignore it. We just take no notice of it whatsoever. And it also is, they talk about a gut feeling. And then sometimes when you have anger coming from the gut, and it's sort of a very, very important part of the body, but we let it go. And people sometimes have these huge bellies. It's like, what is going on there? And, we lose strength in our core as we get older. It's what's holding us upright as well. So I would like to do a little meditation, because I think not everybody is happy to sit. But I'd like to address what you were saying, Kodo. What you are doing, there you are, you've moved over there. What you're doing is exactly what they suggest to do in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, in all of that, is to work on your mind. And basically, everything that's negative in our mind is psychology. So we're using the opposite. We try and create positivity in order to counteract. And so initially it's fake. Initially it's like, oh God, that driver in front of me. Oh, look what I did. I just got angry at the person. Okay, Om Mani Padme Hum. Hope you're having a lovely day. So it might be fake to start with. But then after a while, it becomes a little bit more genuine. And we will do an equanimity practice, I think, to start, because it will help us understand that those strangers in those cars are actually full of people who have lives and heartbreaks and debt and children and things to worry about. And the people that you meet in the supermarket that are just taking an endless great eon to get checked through because they've decided to do 2 weeks shopping in one day, and you're sitting there with like a bottle of milk, and you're feeling impatient, you don't know, and the cashier is on training. So you don't know what that cashier has been going through before they got to work. And so by the time you get there and you're grumpy, how are you impacting on that person? So it's, for me, practice is coming every single day about watching what's going on in your mind and grabbing it before it affects another person in a negative way. So that for me is bringing my practice out into the community. And then also building community like we're doing here with our various different meditation groups. So I think it's very, very sweet, So does that make sense? Yeah, and somebody else had their hand up, Dani.
I don't know if now is the time to share. I can wait till later about I have techniques, little short tools that I use to snap me into brief meditations throughout the day, rather than expecting myself to just sit there, which I have a hard time with. I did Zazen for many decades too, and it's just not my style really. I still do it sometimes, but I now have some little tools that I use that are actually getting me further than Zazen did. I mean, in a different way maybe, but I can share those later if it's appropriate.
Sure. Just tell us quickly what you do. We can't see your face, by the way.
I can't have my face because then you can't hear me. It's my mic.
Okay, all right.
I can try to talk from here, but you can't hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm yelling, but okay.
Right, just yell.
I've recorded some short meditations. One, they're very visual, like mandala with mantra, and then I'll just play it. I'll have that queued up on my device all the time. I'm on a device almost all day, and I have that queued up in another window almost all day. And I'll switch to that window every so often and just look at that and listen to it briefly. And then also on the phone, I've recorded some mantras that are there to listen.
That is excellent. You know, I do know also, you've probably heard Venerable Robina say that she goes to sleep at night listening to the prayer to Amitabha's Pure Land. And she's recorded that on her phone. Also, the other thing that she has suggested, and I've used it also with people who are dying, actively dying, is if they're a Buddhist practitioner, you put the prayers and the practices on, record it somehow, put it in their ears. So that's what they're hearing. So I also too, I get very busy here. So what I do is when I go for a walk, I've recorded my prayers. I put them in my ear. So I go for a walk with my iPods in my ear, my phone in my pocket. And sometimes I do my prayers walking. And I kind of love to do that because I'm staying focused. I'm not distracted by the dogs and the people. Occasionally I'll see a neighbor. I have to stop everything, pull it out. It's not ideal actually, but it's something that I do find incredibly, I don't know, quite comforting, and it's helpful, because I sometimes don't have the time to sit down for 4 hours, which is what if I was to do all of my practices properly, it would take about that time. So I use some of that time to walk, some of that time while I'm cooking dinner. So if you have to find ways to make it fit. Of course, ideal is to sit down and really, really focus. But if you can't, if you don't have time for that, it's better than nothing, better than not doing it. And I think what happens is we go, oh, I don't have time for that, or I can't do it. I'm not doing it properly, so I'm not going to do it. That is really not the way to think. You have to do, like Dani's done, set up something that's easily accessible that you can switch on, put in the car while you're sitting in traffic, or have, there's some beautiful mantras out there that you can find that are on iTunes or Spotify or whatever. And they're mantras from our tradition. Turn them on and all your mind is being flooded with the mantras. And you learn them that way as well. So there's many different ways of doing your practice in your everyday life that's not particularly traditional, but it's better than listening to kind of rubbish on the radio, or when you have an opportunity to be quiet, to be by yourself, and you haven't had much time to do any practice because you're busy or you're at work or you've got other kinds of commitments. That time in the car, actually, in the freeway is quite precious. You can use it to play mantras. You can use it to listen to teachings. There's many things you can do. You just cue it all up and let yourself know, I've got this hour, I'm going to do da, 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 da. I've got this 30 minutes. So, okay, great ideas. Thank you. And Lou, hi.
Hi, I just wanted to mention that Venerable Robina's Devotion CD has a section of mantras that are very beautiful, and you can loop them.
Yeah.
And that's what I use. Yeah,
I also find it's so beautifully done, because what they've done, her and Yantra, I think her name is, they've kind of put, there's many Rabinas on there. So she sounds like a choir of Rabinas. It's gorgeous. It's really, really gorgeous. And then, of course, Yantra's come in as the soprano because Venerable Robina's voice has dropped. So she's no longer a soprano. She's more like an alto, probably even a bass now. I don't know. But it's a really, really worthwhile listening to. And I've also, too, it helped me learn some of the tunes for Guru Puja, because Venerable Robina's singing some of the verses from Lama Chirpa as well. So that's really nice. Thank you so much. Thanks for your ideas, everyone. This is great. Anybody else have anything they want to share before we start? No. Okay. Oh, Mary, what did you say? His Holiness World CD. I didn't know about that. What is that? Mary, what is that World CD?
It was the Inner World CD. And it came out in 2020, and I believe Venerable Robina helped a little bit put it together, but it's It's absolutely gorgeous.
What is it?
So inner world CD. I'll share the link in the chat.
And
I'll text it to you.
Okay, is it on Apple Tunes or is it teachings or
Apple Tunes?
Apple
It's
Tunes?
got medicine, compassion Buddha, just purification. It's really beautiful. I'll put it in the chat and I'll also WhatsApp it to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wonderful. They're beautiful ideas. Cool. See how beneficial this is? Okay, so I think we'll start. It's 9:16. I'm going to start with just settling us into a little bit of meditation. We might do some of those. I'd like to do some concentration meditation. We'll do some breathing meditation and our 9-round breathing. Before we do, though, I want to make sure that everybody knows what 9-round breathing is and you've done it before with me? Okay. Do I need to mirror you or you understand when I'm doing it opposite that? Do you want me to mirror you? No? You need me to? You don't? Okay. All right. And then after that, we're going to pay attention to our feet. We'll do that after, and we might do a little bit of this rocking motion that I will start with. And so we might also do some walking meditation. I'd really like to do that. All right. Okay. Thank you, Dani. What is it that you've just put up? Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
World CD also is.
Thank you. So everybody
buying stuff like me.
Yeah. So everybody, make use of that. It's because His Holiness is amazing, quite extraordinary. All right. So let's just settle into our meditation posture and start. If you do have your feet flat on the floor, and I will bring our attention to them later, just notice that this is your contact with the earth. And if you are with your feet flat on the floor, we'll go again over this later, but you'll feel your soles of your feet. And right now in California, it's a bit soggy, but the earth is still there, supporting you, supporting your practice, supporting your life. So check your body. If you are sitting in the cross-legged position, you could support either knee with a cushion. If your hips are tight, make sure your sits bones are slightly raised. So this is the bony part, bony protrusion at the bottom of the pelvis. And this helps to straighten the spine, align the spine. So you can have, if you wish, your hands in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And really, for our purposes, if you have another meditation technique and this doesn't feel completely comfortable for you, you can just rest your hands on your lap or in whatever mudra you've been taught. And so now try as best you can, align your shoulders with your hips. And also make note, if you do have a surface behind you, a wall or a chair or a couch or whatever, try not to use that as a support. Try and hold yourself up. So you imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, and it's stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you can imagine you've got some space in between those vertebrae. And you're lengthening, you're becoming longer, a little bit taller. So imagine the crown of your head is heading towards the ceiling, pardon the pun. Take a nice deep breath. And now your head and neck. Very often as we get older, particularly, gravity takes over. Stomach is weaker, our back is weaker, particularly our upper back. And we start to allow the head to pull us forward. It's a very heavy head, this bowling ball we've got. I don't know, 10 or more pounds. So it's kind of important that we try as much as possible to keep it aligned with the shoulders. So again, you can imagine someone has you by the ears, tip of the ears. Imagine you're like Dr. Spock, and they're just pulling your head, lengthening that cervical spine, and then just drawing it back, drawing your head back in line with your shoulders, if this is available to you. Then you can hinge your head very slightly forward, just tip it forward. And if your eyes were open, they'd be down looking at a spot on the ground about 2 inches ahead. So this head of yours isn't pulling you forward. It's just hinging from the top of the neck. Now, in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, they'll have you put the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. This is specifically for long-term meditators who are in their cave for hours and hours and hours on end. So when you get to a very subtle level of meditation, even the slightest movement, too deep a breath, can disturb the mind. So they try to prevent too much swallowing or too much saliva, and apparently this is one way to help with that. And then relax the jaw. Now bring your mind to the crown of the head, your awareness, and just allow yourself to relax that scalp and the forehead and the eyes and the nose and the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Now bring your awareness to the back of the head and relax your scalp there at the base of the skull. And then relax your ears, your inner ear. Imagine someone has a little torch and it's nice and warm and they're shining it inside your ear. Just relaxes everything. So then you'll notice the back of the tongue, relax that. And this should all relax the jaw. So just remove your jaw around, side to side, and stick out your tongue. As much as you can. You can move your head from side to side as best you can. Bring your head forward, gets a little bit of stretch in the back of the neck. This time you can allow it to drop down, just. And then bring yourself upright again. Okay, so now bring your shoulders up to your ears and then just drop. Take a nice deep breath, bring your shoulders up. And bring the shoulders up and drop. And then take your left ear and just drop it towards your left shoulder. Except imagine somebody has that string of pearls of light and they're pulling you up towards the corner of the room. So you're going up and over, but you get a nice stretch on the right side of the neck. Just very gently, don't force it. Then just gradually bring yourself back to center. And then move your head. Imagine someone's got that string of pearls of light very gently. You could probably imagine you're drawing an arc on the ceiling with the crown of your head. And you're drawing that arc towards the right. Oh, I can feel some tension there. So just allow that to stretch out. So you're not collapsing your head into your shoulder, you're just lengthening and stretching. And then bring the head upright. And then just you notice your neck might be feeling a little bit looser. Okay, where were we? We're at the back of the neck. So just allow the neck to release any tension in the neck. Allow the shoulders to drop down, the shoulder blades to drop down. Bring your attention to your throat. And relax your chest. So I would grab your 2 fingers, actually maybe your fingers, just tap your chest, clavicles, come up to your head. Don't tap this section here, just this either side of the fontanelle. You can tap your face, tap the back of the neck. So we're very tight here, particularly if you're doing any computer work, right? These muscles here coming in. So we want to try. Okay, so just relax. Again, take a nice deep breath. And relax your belly and limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice if there are any sounds in your environment. And just allow those sounds to be there. And try not to investigate with your mind. Just leave the sounds alone. It's part of the tapestry of your environment. And then bringing the mind back to the breath. Noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And allow your mind to settle and become calm and present in the moment. So get in touch with your stillness in the place where you are, ready to engage with yourself. Anytime you need to take a deep breath, just do that. Keep your shoulders aligned with the hips. So just notice what's arising in the mind now. What kinds of thoughts are you having? And become aware of them without any particular opinions, without any judgment or criticism. Just notice what's there. You're watching yourself like almost like a scientific observer. And as these thoughts are arising, if you don't engage, if you don't grab a hold of the story, just notice for a moment what happens. So let's just do this for a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. So now let's bring to mind some people of your life. So let's start with your loved ones. These are the people who we have these really deep and profound relationships with. We have constructive relationships with them. We love them. They're in our lives. Sometimes we fight with them, but generally we have this big, big heart for these people. And they could be your children, your spouses, your parents, your co-workers, your best friends. And then there's those people in your life who we have a little difficulty with. And then there's our strangers. And we were talking about the people on the freeway and the people in the supermarket. We have kind of irritation or impatience or joy or whatever, but we don't really think much about those people. We have very brief interactions with them. We might not think about them again. But what I always find so fascinating is this incredible, because of where we are, samsara, because of our karmic connections and our own karma, this friend, this enemy, and this stranger, they can change place at any time, and it can happen in a moment. So maybe there's a person in your life who was a stranger to you 3 years ago, and now they're your dearest friend. Perhaps you had the experience of a person you weren't super comfortable with, different situation, different environment, then somehow now you're also friends. Our relationships change and develop and grow all the time. And particularly for those we love, it's a really good idea to keep reminding ourselves how grateful we are to have these relationships in our lives, this support of these friends, these family, because we aren't islands. We need our friends. We need the support of our Dharma buddies, our work buddies. So the other way to think about these friend, this enemy, and the stranger, because this is really an equanimity meditation, is that everybody wants to be happy. Everybody's striving for happiness. And generally, we're not finding it. I mean, you're happy for probably a week after you've got your new iPhone 14 and checked out the camera. And then all of a sudden, it's just kind of like the iPhone before. I mean, you just got used to it. And maybe you're thinking about what's coming out next year. So really, the happiness that you manage to achieve or get from purchasing that new phone, that new anything, that new whatever you have, kind of wears off after a while. It gets older, starts to look a bit shabby, doesn't work as well as it did, and you kind of fall out of love with it. So it's really not very satisfying, particularly because we're always putting our own happiness, we're giving it other people, outside things, the responsibility of making us happy. It's always looking outside of ourselves for our own happiness, but it's just got to come from inside. We have to find it ourselves from the inside. So everybody, all of us, are mainly, because it's a habit, this is the world we live in. We're just a bunch of junkies living in a world full of junk. We have this extraordinary, particularly here in the US, you can get anything you want at any time if you're willing to pay for it. It's extraordinary what you can get here. I'm just amazed at the services that are available. But you're always led to this state of dissatisfaction because it's not coming from inside, it's always from the outside. So everyone's searching for happiness, looking for ways to find it, not getting it. So we're all the same. We're all in the same boat there. So then we're all trying to avoid problems and suffering and sickness and death and all the things that we consider ugly. But we're constantly running into some kind of a problem or another because we're bouncing off each other. We've all got karma. Things are arising. We say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Somebody gets offended. There's a problem right there. Then we have to fix it. So it kind of takes time. And however, we all have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. We all have this place of stillness within us. It's accessible to us at any time, or however short or however long we want it. So this is what I want to try for all of us, me included, to get in touch with while we're doing these 2 weekends, and to know it's there for you whenever you want to pull it out. You just open the drawer, turn on the app, and know that you can go immediately to that place of stillness for even just 30 seconds. So we just did a 3-minute meditation there, a silent meditation. If that's all you can manage, that's all you do. So I'm still motivating. Goodness me, we're halfway through the course already. So actually you can think all these people of your life, and you probably have individuals in mind. You dedicate the practices that we're doing this morning will motivate for them, dedicate for them, and for all sentient beings. And I just saw this morning there was a plane crash in Nepal between Kathmandu and Pokhara, and everybody on board was killed. So think about all those individual souls, as they call them in the airline industry. And make very strong prayers for them. And being in a Buddhist country, I'm quite sure that they are being taken care of, but it's difficult. So now let's just do our 9-round breathing. And then we'll do a little bit of counting. And then I want to check in with everyone. And then we will start looking at our feet and doing some movement. Okay. So when you're doing your 9-round breathing, you're breathing in, first of all, through the right nostril, blissful, radiant white light. And if you need to, you can actually close the left nostril with your finger. That's okay. In yoga, they call this valving, and they actually use a different mudra than just using a finger. But Lamy Eshe suggested this way, so for this environment, we'll do this. And if it's easy for you, you can count to 4. So you breathe in nice, steady breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause at the top of the breath very briefly. Move the finger over, then breathe out through the left nostril all your attachment and grasping and neediness, unhealthy desire. And imagine it just leaves your body as thick black yucky smoke. And if you wish, you can count for 4 as it's leaving the body. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then do that 3 times. And the reason to count inhale and exhale an even amount of time, an even amount of counts, it helps to settle the mind. So the wind, the mind rides on the winds, the airs. And so this is what this particular meditation is about. It calms down the mind. And then adding counting or adding a discrete amount of time for breathing in and breathing out, so counts, also helps to steady the mind, to stabilize the mind. So we're breathing out attachment. So then we're breathing in now through the left nostril, blissful, radiant white light, pausing at the top of the breath, and then breathing out through your right, all your anger energy, and it disappears as thick, black, yucky smoke. Breathe that out for 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, 1. And if 4 is too much for your lung capacity, do 3. And then breathing in through both nostrils, blissful, radiant white light. Really imagine this coming into you and filling you completely from the tip of the toes right up to the crown of your head. And then you breathe out all your ignorance energy. This is not understanding the way things exist, not understanding or appreciating karma, cause and effect. And you just breathe that out as thick, black, yucky smoke, and do that 3 times. So we're going to do this now. It takes about 5 minutes. So this is another little technique that you can use in your daily life. And you don't have to do 3 sets of 3. You can just do 1 set of 3, 3, 3. And I promise you, it'll calm your mind down almost immediately if you do this practice. It's excellent. And if you do only 1 set of 3, it's like a minute, 2 minutes. So another excellent tool for your toolbox for busy people. Okay, let's go. 3 sets of 3. And when you're finished, just bring the mind back to the breath and feel. And just do a couple of minutes, or just do 2 minutes of really focusing on the breath, and notice if there's a difference in the quality of your breath meditation between when we started and now. And if there's not a difference, that's okay too. Okay, just relax your focus for a moment again and feel, and just try and get in touch with that stillness. Recognize that it's there for you all the time. If you need to change position, go ahead. Have a little wriggle. Okay. I just wanted to check in with anyone if anybody has anything they would like to share or bring to discussion. Mary, I can see you're about to say something. Mary Moenberg. Do you have something you want to say? Yes? No? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Okay, if you're all okay, I'd like to do the counting breath meditation that we did. Oh, Mary has a question. Both? Sorry, Mary, you have a question. Where are you? There you are.
Well, actually, I typed it in chat, so it can be for later, but there was a question in chat I posted to you.
I saw that. So I think, okay, I can bring attention to that. Now, so what I do with my prayers, I have an app on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you can record yourself into your phone in any kind of recording app that you can download. And then you get your whatever headphones you use, put them in your ear, connect to the app, and then you can just listen to yourself. Does that answer the question that was there? So the earpiece I have, and you can get any earpiece that connects to your phone remotely. So it's a Bluetooth. And then you just make sure that you've got your Bluetooth turned on and that the earpiece is connected. Sometimes the Bluetooth gets confused with if you've got 3 different devices, it doesn't know where to go. So you have to make sure it's connecting to the device you want it to connect to and not to anyway, I have the same problem. But, and then you just turn it on, put the phone in your pocket and you walk. I don't know, does that answer the question? Looping. Okay, so looping is, there's a little icon on your iTunes, right? And one says, it kind of looks like it allows you, kind of goes around in a circle. And that's what Lou was talking about. So looping is where you ask the iTunes to play something over and over and over again. And that's what looping is. If that is not clear and somebody needs more help to set up all the technology, maybe there's someone in here that's willing to do that with them. So please communicate with Mary in the chat if you need more help and if I haven't been clear enough. Okay. And we'll help you. We'll make sure you get on your feet with this because it can be a bit confusing. Okay. All right. Now what I want to do is loop video. Oh, that might be beyond me, Dani. Video. All right. So, okay, everybody, let's just settle back into our meditation posture. So just go back to focusing on the sensation of the air at the opening of your nostrils. So breathe just very naturally through your nose and pay very close attention to the subtle sensations at the opening of your nostrils as you breathe in and out. And also check your alignment, make sure you're in line. So you can feel these very subtle sensations as the air passes through the nostril, and there's some people have some small hairs in there that you can feel as the air flows through. And it's a little bit cooler as you're inhaling and a little bit warmer as you're exhaling. So just paying attention, become aware of these various experiences. Just in and out of the nostrils. Don't follow the air into your body or out into the surrounding environment. Just place your attention at the opening of your nostrils. So when I was doing my Burmese 10-day Vipassana courses, they had us focus at the base of the nose, but you may have a different place that works for you. And depends on the shape of your nose and where you've been trained elsewhere. So your job is like that of a gatekeeper. So a gatekeeper doesn't necessarily follow people in and out. A gatekeeper pays attention at the gate. And similarly here in this particular meditation, your job is to keep your attention placed on those small sensations in the nose, the nostrils, outside of the nostrils, whether it be the base of the nose or just the outside of the nostrils. So we'll do this for a couple of minutes. Now, as you inhale and exhale, so we just mentally count each inhale and exhalation as one. So inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, and so on. So see if you can count from 1 to 10 as you concentrate on the sensations associated with your breath. If you become distracted, if the mind wanders on to other things and moves away from the point of concentration, then you begin your counting again at 1. If you can remain concentrated and reach all the way to 10, then that's fantastic, but difficult, actually. So we have to be kind of honest with ourselves. And also we have to be aware of what the mind is actually doing. And it really is an excellent insight into how attachment tends to drive our mind. We get distracted at the slightest thing. We happily get distracted. So let's keep our concentration again, focusing on the air flowing in and out of the nostrils, and you can start your counting. Inhale, exhale 1. And we'll just do this for a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and see how far you get. So I would suggest, if you can, between this session and in 2 weeks' time, I'll do this too. Try and do this maybe for a little bit, a couple of minutes every day, if possible, or 1 minute, and see if your concentration is increasing. And you'll know because you'll be able to get a little bit further down the track each time. Okay, so let's just try. Okay, everyone, just relax. So if you didn't manage to get past 2 or even 1, please don't see this as a problem. The point is to train your mind to focus on a single point only. And this kind of concentration takes some time and some practice. So we do have to put a little bit of effort in. It doesn't come naturally for us because we are you go to a place like Kopan, even though it's very, very busy, somehow because so many people have meditated there and done practices there, it's really very easy just to kind of settle in to a mode of meditation and practice, because that's all everybody is doing there. But most of us aren't living in a place like that. We're surrounded by constant distractions and what's on the news and what's happening and the neighbors and the this and the that and the family. We have a lot of distractions. So this kind of thing is kind of hard. We just have to do the best we can. And I notice also too, when you go up to, and not everybody around you may be doing the same thing as you. Not everybody around you may be meditating. So you might be alone in that. This is the importance of community as well. So when you got to a place like Laudo, which is where Rinpoche's the reincarnation of the Laudo Lama, Konsang Yeshi, you go into the cave there and you immediately feel settled. It's just because so much practice has been done in there. I mean, Konsang Yeshi was in there for like 15 years because he was paralyzed. I think he drank too much, actually. That's he was a layperson. I think this is probably the reason Rinpoche now is so against it. But it's kind of an enigma thing. You know, it's cold up there, so they keep warm. But anyway, his wife and daughters looked after him. And then I think he did regain his, he was able to walk after a while, but it was 15 or 16 years, he couldn't move. So he just stayed in the cave and meditated. It's extraordinary. It's not a very big cave either. So, okay. So what I would like to do now is to get everyone to stand up, because we've been sitting now for probably almost an hour. So let's stand. I'm going to disconnect my microphone. So I'm going to be using the microphone of the actual computer. So I need to make sure you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Okay, good. I'll turn the sound up. All right. So I'm just pulling my chair back here because I want, okay, we're going to start by working with the feet. And I don't know if you can, if I do like this. Okay. So sit on your chair. Is everybody able to do this with their foot? Can everyone bring their foot up on their knee? No. Okay. So is there a way you can reach your foot? You can reach your foot? Because if you can't reach your foot, this is a dryer ball. Put that dryer ball on the ground. Do you have a tennis ball handy? Dryer ball, tennis ball. If you can't, you can put it on the ground and just roll your foot over it. So what I'm suggesting though, if you can somehow grab the base of the foot and just massage your foot. Pull your toes. Put some, and start to feel we got a lot of bones in these feet here. So, and then get your fist and start putting your fist into your foot. Dig right in there. Massage your foot, your feet. Get right into the arches of your feet. It's a little tender, right? Yeah. And get into your toes. So pull the toes. So the reason I'm interested in movement, one of the degrees I did before I became a nun, did a choreography. And so I did dance. I did a lot of yoga. Now I'm doing yoga again. So I like to move my body. But I didn't move my body for many years. And now it's taken me a year to kind of catch up with the body that stopped working. So I urge you to keep moving, everybody. It took a lot of time and effort. Okay, keep into those arches and you can grab your knuckles and get in there, put your weight in there. And now get to the heel. So kind of put your thumbs and your fingers into your heel. I think for next week, bring your tennis balls with you. If you've got tennis balls or drying balls, get into the base of that heel there. Just kind of pinch it in there. Yeah, it's kind of sore, hey? Okay, that's that foot. And then get the other foot and do the same thing. So you might get some creaks and crinks going on. It's really weird because I can't hear you. I can't really hear myself. So I feel like I'm talking to midair. Okay. Okay, so get right into your toes, pull the toes, get your knuckles in there. Give yourself a nice little massage. I hope all you people with your cameras off are doing this. Not checking or anything. Okay, so now put your feet down on the ground and just kind of like stamp your feet like a kid. Not both, alternate feet like this. So it's kind of like a little massage on the base of the feet. Okay, now let's stand. So when you stand, don't kind of get up like this. See if you can plant your feet on the ground and really feel the soles of your feet, like the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet, and put your weight in them, lean your weight forward, and allow that momentum to bring you upright. Nice and straight. There you go. Well done, everyone. Okay, so can you see me? Can you see my feet? Can you see my feet? Great. Okay, here I am with my pink socks, pink and purple socks on. You know, at Rimshay's house, we were always running around in socks and we got holes in them. So we discovered that the only socks that didn't get holes in them were darn tough. So I've been buying these same socks for years now. So, okay. So, as I said, it's very soggy here in California, but the ground is always there. The earth is always there to support you. So what I want you to do right now is to feel the balls of the feet. So just move your weight forward without falling over to the balls of your feet. And then just move your weight back to the heels, to the balls, to the heels. Stand sideways. To the balls of the feet, to the heels of the feet, to the balls of the feet, to the heels of the feet. Okay, so let's just shake your legs out, shake your feet, and shake the body. Do that. When I went to Hawaii recently, I stayed with my yoga teacher who's 83 years old, and she calls this jigga jigga. So just allow the jigga jigga to happen. Just allow yourself to shake, da, 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 da. And then we can do this one I love. Again, plant your feet firmly on the ground. Keep your hips forward. And then just allow your arms to go. Try not to wreck your sacrum, just very gently twisting. So it's kind of nice. Just allow the arms to float. Bloop, bloop. Okay, just shake out again. Okay, so this first movement we're going to do is called rocking motion. This is in this Tai Chi chair practice. Actually, Justin Stone, he got permission from his Tai Chi master. He was a lecturer in Albuquerque, just down the road from you guys. And he was teaching Tai Chi to his students. And he found that people were finding it a little bit too boring and they weren't coming. So then he asked his teacher if he could shorten the practice. So he shortened the practice to 19 movements and one standing pose. So that's kind of the lineage. It's not like a full-on lineage like ours, but I personally have found this practice actually, it's a moving meditation. And when I had a back injury, I couldn't get into the chiropractor for 3 months. So I was doing this practice and I found that it was remarkably gave me quite a bit of relief. So I have no idea why. You're just playing with energy with this. It may be a bit woo-woo, but what we're going to do this morning is a rocking motion. It's very simple. So you start with your feet a little bit at a 45-degree angle like this. And the knees just relaxed, a little bit bent, just relaxed. And before we move get the hands involved, I'm just going to have you shift your weight to your right foot. I'm going to move to my left, go to your right foot, put your left foot out. And so it's parallel, and then the right foot parallel, and your knees are bent. So now we're going to go back to that rocking thing we were doing. So just rock back and then rock forward and rock back without falling over, and rock forward. So you can make the movement bigger to start with. Rock back and rock forward. Rock back and forward, and then just make it a little bit more subtle. And don't forget to breathe, because you may have stopped breathing when you're concentrating here. Okay, has everyone got that? Thumbs up. Okay, okay. Right. Now we're going to add arms. I'm sorry, my robes are kind of like, can't really see what I'm doing. So the hands. So let's go back to that 45-degree angle position. So we're just kind of settling into this position of stillness. It does look a bit strange, doesn't it? But anyway, your hands are what they call pressing down the inner fire. So I guess that's what Koda was talking about, the hara, your belly. So you just have got your hands in this kind of position, a little bit opposite your pelvis, the pelvic bone. So yeah, that's right, lower them. That's right, Lou. Good. Now shift your weight to your right foot. I'm going to move to left. I'm the same way as you. And then allow the foot to go parallel, other foot to go parallel. So your feet are parallel with each other. Now the hands, just imagine, of course, for us here in California, it's kind of easy now. You're running your hands through warm water. So I don't hope you can see me, because I think the white may be whiting out my hands. So you're just, it's like you're wading through water. You're waist deep in water and you're wading through. So you're parting the water with your hands. And then you're bringing it back. And then bring it down harder. And then as you're rocking at the same time. So forward, up to your toes of your feet, toes, back to the heels. Okay, nice, everyone, beautiful. Okay, bring it forward. And then bring it back. And try and make the movement as smooth as possible. And it doesn't matter if you're not doing it exactly. You just have to feel the energy. Okay, really good. Good, nice mirror. Both mirrors, two mirrors. Okay, just come. I just want to do something with you. Hold your hands. Go like this. And then pull the hands away. What's in between? What do you feel in between? It's not nothing.
Energy.
Yeah. It's not nothing. It's something. There's something going on there. Something happening here. All right. So let's go back to our rocking motion again. So we're standing in this kind of V position. Move the weight to the right. Move your weight over to the right. I'm mirroring you here. And then just parallel the foot, the left foot, parallel the right foot. And let's just, and then we've got our hands here. And we can just start. Just imagine you're wringing your hands through nice, warm water. Yeah, beautiful, you guys, gorgeous. Can you feel it? It's kind of not like you're pushing through empty air. There's kind of energy there. So that energy is that your energy? And we're all affected by everything that's going on. We're affected by the moon, the tides, the water. Everything that's happening in the planet affects us. Everything's happening in the galaxy, most likely. And I think we get disconnected. So important to go for a walk in nature every now and then as well. Okay, beautiful, everybody. Oh my goodness, I've just seen the time. So, okay, just come back. Move your weight again to the right. Bring your foot back into that little V position, and then you just kind of bring in I think they're talking, you're just settling the energy back down again. Okay, nice. Beautiful, everybody. Let's get back. I want to do a little bit of chanting before we finish. But before we do that, we'll do a little mantra. I'm just going to plug my, and I want to find out how you enjoyed that, or whether it was, did it make sense? Okay. Hi. Oh, that sounds better. Did that make sense? Did you enjoy moving? You liked it. Good. Yay. Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. It's a beautiful practice, isn't it? It's very sweet. Okay. So does anyone have anything they want to say or share before we move on?
Venerable, it's Mary.
Yes. Mary, hi.
I just wanted to mention that was wonderful to move. Thank you so much. I used to dance as well. I wrecked my feet way back when, and I've also started to re-engage with my body too. So anyway, I totally feel, perhaps I feel what you're feeling or what you've experienced. So anyway, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I focused on the feet. So next week, please bring, not next week, week after, please bring some tennis balls or dry balls, and we're going to massage our feet a little bit. Okay. Anna, did you have anything you wanted to share? No, it's just a big yawn there. It's okay. Do you know, I have to say something. When I first started doing the Vajrasattva mantra, I was always yawning through it. And I notice sometimes that when we're doing that practice at night, there are people who are yawning. And I think it's just, I don't know what it is about that mantra, but I always find myself, of course, I try not to do that while I'm leading it, but you know, when I'm doing it for myself, I do tend to yawn. And I think sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes I feel it's a good thing that you yawn. It's kind of a way to get more oxygen into the body, and it's a way to relax. And there was just a message from someone. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right, everybody. I'd like to do, it's 10:24 now. I just wanted to do a wee mantra before we go to just take us in through the weekend. And it's just going to be Chenrezig's mantra. So let's just settle into our meditation posture again. Check your feet and your alignment. Lengthen your spine. So rather than doing the whole Chenrezig visualization, just imagine you have a sphere of white light on the crown of your head. And this is the embodiment of all the compassion and love and wisdom, basically Chenrezig's energy in the universe, right there. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher. And we're just going to recite Om Mani Padme Hum. The first time we recite it, just imagine that from this sphere of white light above the crown of your head, white purifying light is pouring into you and just kind of eradicating any niggly bits that you have inside, any anger or depression or sadness or pain, jealousy. Just imagine it all it disappears. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Just imagine you're completely full of this white light, completely purified of all your negativities. Gone. And your body feels blissful and light. Now imagine this time golden light pouring down from this sphere of white light, or this Chenrezig energy above the crown of your head, compassion energy pouring into you and filling you with blessings, compassion, wisdom, love, creativity, intelligence. As you recite the mantra, golden light filling you completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 I think I've just got a question here. I think the class is being recorded, isn't it? It is. Yeah, the class is being recorded. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for your attention and coming along here to be with us all together on your Sunday, which I know is quite a big deal for some people. So I appreciate so much you turning up. So thank you very much for our hosts, Mary and Lou, and for the bouncers, because I know there's some bouncers here in the room. And we have bouncers, for those you don't understand our joke, because we've been bombed several times. And the last time was horrible and shocking and really quite crazy. So now we have guardians, and your bouncers are probably Mary, other Mary and Shayla. So thank you very much to them. And so very nice to see all of you. Lots of love. Stay safe. And I will see you on Monday, some of you, and then the following weekend, the 29th. So thank you very much. Lots of love. I hope you enjoyed. Try practicing some of those things, even if it's only for a minute or 30 seconds. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just do a little bit every day, even if it's only 30 seconds. Okay. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.